You're listening to the Adventurous Reinvention podcast. I'm Allison Boyle, aka She Dreams of Alpine, and this is the show that's dedicated to all the adventurous spirits out there who have either been transformed by the outdoors or are interested in what it looks like to step into a new, adventurous, and courageous kind of identity in their life. It doesn't matter what your background is in the outdoors, what age you're starting at, or where you grew up. If you're curious about the outdoors and using adventure as a way to reinvent yourself, you're in the right place. I'll be sharing all kinds of personal adventure stories, lessons I've learned from the mountains, teaching what I know about the outdoors and leadership, and interviewing some amazing adventurous women all along the way. I've been coaching women on becoming safe, confident, and self-sufficient backpackers and leaders of their own adventurous lives since 2018, and I know exactly what big fears and self-doubts can pop up along the way. I have so much to share with you, so let's dive in. Hello everyone, it's Allison, and before we dive into today's episode, I wanted to just kind of give a quick announcement. So I'm taking a little summer break from the podcast. I've got some very exciting personal adventures planned for the summer and also some really epic client trips that are coming up on the horizon. So this pause is really just to give me and my team a little space to breathe and reset and focus in other areas of our business right now. But I didn't want to leave you hanging with nothing to listen to over the summer. So I am going to be sharing something really special. I'm going to be sharing a behind the scenes audio series from my hike on the John Muir Trail. So my husband Michael and I set out to thru-hike the John Muir Trail back in 2020. So that is a while ago now. We were aiming to finish it in 22 days, but due to some massive wildfires and a full national forest closure, we had to bail early. This is something we definitely didn't expect. So this series, for some reason, we decided to record like a daily podcast back then. This was before I even had the podcast. But this series is going to be showing you a real, raw, behind-the-scenes audio that we recorded on the trail when we were out there doing the John Muir Trail as we dealt with all the highs, the lows, the relationship dynamics, and also the huge disappointment of getting kicked off the trail early in 2020, and then our eventual comeback in 2021 to finish it. So if you have ever dreamed of hiking the JMT or you just love a good adventure story, you are going to love these sort of like bite-sized episodes that are coming up of our kind of behind the scenes trail diary. This is something that I've never released before. So I really think you're going to enjoy this, and it will kind of like fill that, adventure itch that you might be getting while we're taking a little break from our normal episodes. And this series will run through about mid-August, and then we will be back with fresh episodes on the Adventurous Reinvention podcast. If you're listening to this kind of midway in the series, be sure to go back and listen to previous episodes. But at the end of the day, I hope you enjoy this and that it's a nice little kind of thing to get you excited about your own adventures and maybe even eventually pursuing the John Muir Trail one day. All right, let's dive in. Hello. This is Allison.
And Michael.
Coming at you with actually day 11 of our JMT podcast, which would have been our midday or like our halfway point of the JMT trail, because we were planning to do it in 22 days. But as you'll learn from today's talk, that plans have changed a little bit.
Yeah.
And also it's super windy and we're in the tent. So if you're hearing a lot of background noise,
it comes and goes, but it's very windy when it gets windy. We're kind of out in an exposed area right below a mountain pass.
Yeah.
So.
But anyways, I guess today, as you know from yesterday, today's kind of journey started out a little bit unknown. We kind of had some ideas of what our options were, but we weren't for sure like what we would decide. So we started our morning hiking from, where were we? Deer Meadow,
yeah.
Yeah, and we went to the ranger station, LeConte,
which that was the first objective, and we woke up, it was still smoky.
Yeah.
And there was ash everywhere.
Nothing
changed.
Super smoky still.
And
we wanted to go to the ranger station and get like a final word and thoughts about stuff. And we also got more messages from like Michael's parents who are keeping tabs on the fire, and they were pretty concerned. And anyways, we got to the ranger station. Took us a few hours. It was about 7 miles from where we were. And then there, like right at the sign where the ranger station was a sign that said like, do you actually have that on you? Do you have your phone on? It was on your...
But I have it.
Yeah. Michael's going to get it, and he's going to read it, because it had like all the information on it. But I'll keep talking while he's pulling that up. The hike in was really chill and not a big deal. Actually, we were surprised because we thought we were going to be doing a bunch of uphill for the first 7 miles, and it ended up being pretty flat and like
pretty much all the way to the ranger station.
Yeah, all the way. We actually had to decrease in elevation and then gain a little bit to the ranger station. So when we got to the ranger station, the sign said...
It was posted the day before, but it says Inyo, Sierra, and Sequoia National Forest closing at 5 p.m. today. Hikers can exit and get their cars in the next few days. Northbound JMT and PCT hikers must exit now.
Which is us.
Yeah, all hikers advised to exit. No rush, take your time, get out safely. Let's see. And then it says South Lake Trailhead 12 miles from here over Bishop Pass. Some Verizon service on the pass. So it's just saying exit through Bishop Pass, which was at the junction where this ranger station and the sign was.
Yeah, and we decided we'd still go see if he was there to chat with him in person, even though that pretty much laid out what we were going to do. But I don't know. We just went...
It answered our questions. Like, I mean, it said we had to get out.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't... I thought it was going to be up to us.
I think, like, still our biggest concern was food. But because we were just worried, like, if we got to the resupply area and there was nobody there, then we would be, like, stuck out of food. But it is a little concerning still that they're, like, closing all the trailheads into those national forests and stuff. So anyways, we went to go talk to the ranger, and he had, like, a little bell. Michael and I were joking, like, this ranger probably like had a nice like War and Peace or book or some sort of like novel, and would kick back his feet, and like every 5 minutes somebody would be ringing his bell to like ask him a question.
After we visited him,
there were like 5 more groups.
Yeah, we took a break near there, so we saw all the groups heading up towards his little cabin. One after the other. So even though that sign was there, people had questions, and for good reason. I mean, it's when we were calling the ranger station at Cottonwood when we were starting, it was like we were just like hoping the rangers, not hoping, but we were thinking the ranger were going to be like, yeah, probably not a good idea. That fire was much closer to that trailhead than this fire currently is.
Yeah, I wonder.
But it's just like that overnight. They shut everything down.
I think it's like topography though. Like I think over where we were at Cottonwood Pass, there probably was a lot more granite, and they were anticipating it not being a big deal.
I don't know.
Versus like where we're about to head into the Muir Trail Ranch area, I think it's like a lot more. It could get taken over like a lot easier.
And then the other funny part was when we headed out up Bishop Pass, you obviously go up an elevation.
Well, hold on. We haven't even gotten there.
Well, I was just... Well,
we'll get to that. You're jumping way ahead.
Okay, so what do we do?
We talked to the ranger, and we just asked him more questions, and he pretty much just said the same thing that the sign said. And
we asked him about the bus, because apparently there's a bus that takes people to the trailhead, but it shut down
on Labor Day which was like a couple days ago.
Yeah,
So we were like, that's kind of the part we've been confused as. Like, if we exit here, I guess we'll hitch into town. But then once we get to town, like, what do we do? And these were the questions kind of running through our head. And our conclusions came to, well, like, we're just going to have to figure it out. But the interesting thing was there were southbound JMTers, and they were also being told to exit.
Yeah.
Like, even though we just came from the south, that... like the ranger was like highly suggesting that they exit, and also that Like they're not sure if their cars will get locked if in a few days they lock all the trailheads up.
Yeah, which was, I mean, even probably harder for those people to hear because the fire was not southbound. So
I mean, there is a fire southbound. There's like a new one. There's a there's a new one. There's a rattlesnake fire.
But they said that they wouldn't be in any immediate danger. They're just concerned about the smoke and how their resources are spread thin. So if something were to happen, getting people out there to help would not be easy. So, I mean, it's understandable, but yeah, I can see their frustration. I mean, they had, this particular group also had 10 days worth of food. Which
they were just going straight to Whitney.
Yeah, which would have been enough to get them to Whitney, which that's not very typical. These people had a lot of food.
Some people do that.
Okay, well, anyways, and then, we don't know what happened to them, but actually we never saw them pass us at Bishop's Pass.
So they must have just kept going south.
They must have kept going.
And we asked the ranger if he had any clue about when they'll maybe reopen things, and he said at the earliest September 14th. So,
which leads us to what our current plan is based on that.
Yeah, we decided, okay, well, we're going to exit Bishop Pass Trail because we're not going to be, idiots and do everything opposite of what people are telling us to do.
Yeah, if it was up in the air, we probably would have maybe kept going.
If we knew our food was going to be there, and if it wasn't if people were like, oh, well, you pick, the smoke might be bad. If it was one of those things.
Whether we would have had to exit Bishop's Pass anyways and come back.
Yeah.
Just resupply in Bishop, or if the resupply place was still open.
But we decided to go over Bishop Pass, and we want to, so before we started up Bishop Pass, we were well, we'll figure out some way to get to our car at Cottonwood Pass, our van, and that way we can have more flexibility with trailheads and not have to be shuttling everywhere. And our plan is
it'll work out better with our current plan.
We have to do some research, but I think the Mammoth area trailhead should still stay open. I don't think they're in the national forest, but I do need to double check that.
Yeah, that's the number one hurdle we got to get through tomorrow.
Yeah, so, and then we were going to jump on at Duck Pass Trail and get back onto the JMT and just finish off the northern portion of the JMT into Yosemite. And then we're hoping maybe it'll be around September 14th and we could maybe come back and finish this middle section before our permit expires, which is September 22nd.
So that is the most ideal.
I'm not quite sure if that's even
what?
I know you can hop off, through hikes. People do that all the time because of fires and stuff. I've never really heard of people coming back to a section within their permit time. I don't know what the logistics are like that legally or how you're supposed to do it.
Usually it's a concern in the really busy portals.
Yeah. Maybe I'll try to grab another permit that just allows us to hop on into that area around the date we're thinking.
Yeah.
But the question is we don't even know if it'll be open on the 14th. He said that would be the earliest that it opens.
So yeah, we have our fingers crossed. We're going to keep going given that Duck Pass and all that isn't closed.
Yeah.
Which we don't think it is. But I feel like it would be nice if we can finish it. We have the time and, it could work out that they open it in time. So
we might be able to do it. So we're crossing our fingers.
We would finish in Tuolumne and come back down here to Bishop's Pass with probably 7 days of food.
6 or 7 days. I think maybe if we did Duck's Pass, I don't know. I have to do the mileage in my head because it's new.
But we would just tackle it all in one without any resupplies.
We will have to make a food meal plan on the fly though, because we kind of lost 4 days. It's somewhere in Muir Trail Ranch, and I don't know if we'll ever see it again. I am going to email them though and see if they can mail it to Mammoth. because they say they will ship it back, but I don't know if they'll be able to do it in time with the fire and everything. So when we get back in service, that's like one of the first things I'm gonna do is email them.
Yeah. But if we come back either way, we can do it without them.
But let's talk about Bishop Pass Trail, because we have neither of us have ever done the Bishop Pass Trail. And
I've heard good things, like through the grapevine, like, Bishop's Pass, and I've been like, I just assumed it was in Bishop, but
it's a 12-mile exit and about 3,000 feet of gain coming from the backside, at least from the JMT. I don't know what it is from the trailhead. And we didn't do the whole thing today, obviously, because we had already hiked 7 miles. We decided to add on like about 4 more miles to round up our day around 11, 12 miles.
Yeah. So we still have around 8 tomorrow to get out of here.
But it was brutal. Like, it was just, I felt like it was, like, I don't know why, but that pass felt really brutal to me because it was so hot.
Yeah, it was just warm.
Yeah, like I just felt like I was trudging through a desert, and the air felt heavy, and I like was thirsty constantly, and I was just like, it was sort of stair-steppy, not always, but like it was just steep and brutal, and I think it was mostly the heat that was like making it dramatic.
I don't think it would have been that bad. So that leads me to talk about the smoke, because the day before was so smoky that it blocked the sun the whole time. It literally blocked. There's no shade, no shadows.
Yesterday was cold.
No change in temperature really throughout the day, maybe slightly.
Yeah,
but it was like it was as if it was overcast. But this morning, like I said, it was still just as bad. But then by the time we went to the ranger station, the area where the ranger station was at was not smoky, but behind us was. And then as we're going up Bishop's Pass, the stuff behind us starts dissipating, and you can see the other smoke, the source of it, from behind the mountains as you're getting higher on the pass. But
now
it's like the wind shifted or anything, so it was just weird going up Bishop's Pass
because everything started to look really clear and blue.
It started clear up again, so.
You're like, we're like looking to where we were going to be hiking, and we were like, it looks just fantastic over there right now.
That was the hard part, the hard pill to swallow. But I know obviously doesn't mean the fire went away at all.
Yeah.
But it was just a bit confusing. We're like, what are we doing? It looks fine down there. We're supposed to be going.
Yeah. But we were still like 2 days away, and you never know what's going to happen.
Well, and they closed them.
They closed it, yeah.
They closed the trails regardless. So, I mean, it's nothing. It's not that we would have done anything different, but it's just even harder to see that happen as we're kind of, slugging our way up this pass. And
it's a really beautiful pass, yeah.
It's beautiful, and
highly recommended.
I'm glad
if
that
you're
we're getting to do it.
You're looking for like a few night backpacking trip. I think it would be kind of a fun thing. You could come over Bishop's Pass. You could camp at this lake that we're camped at. I don't know the name, but it's like one of the bigger lakes on the opposite side of the pass. You could go down to Deer Meadow, you could even come, or you might even be able to loop it, I bet, somewhere.
This would be a nice thing to mix in with the Golden Staircase and
oh my gosh,
and
that thing's brutal though.
It's just there's no really quick exit out. You'd have to keep going even further south to get out.
You could do like a 5-night trip or something.
Yeah, it would have to be something like that. And I mean, we don't know what's up north. That might be awesome too.
Well, there's other exit points like to Boost Pass, but I think it's closed.
Well, that guy was told.
Yeah, but it's mostly closed.
It's mostly closed, but that guy was told he could pass. It's just they're anticipating some mudslides if it does rain.
Yeah.
But
anyways,
there's no sign of that.
We digress. One thing we did on the way up the pass is that I've been really loving. I mean, I can't recommend more having an InReach Mini or the Garmin InReach, the bigger one. It's been like absolutely essential, I feel like, on this trip to be able to communicate with friends, not only tell them like each day that we're here, but also like in emergencies like this, we've already known kind of what was happening before we even got to the ranger station, with the fire stuff and keeping in touch with the fires. And it's been nice, and it's been a nice peace of mind knowing somebody's like watching it. But on our way up Bishop Pass Trail, I got the idea to text or message my friend who's been doing all this stuff for us and keeping us in the loop. I messaged her. I was like, hey, I probably said this in less words, but I was like, can you Google Lone Pine Kurt. I actually at the time didn't know if it was Kirk or Kurt. And see, because I knew he's like a shuttle guy and everybody calls him Lone Pine Kurt. And I was like, can you Google Lone Pine Kurt and see if he's available to pick up at Bishop Pass Trailhead and shuttle us to Cottonwood Pass tomorrow? And I said, we'll be at the trailhead at 10 a.m. So I messaged her. There was a little bit of back and forth because she was a little bit confused about what the term Lone Pine Kurt meant. And then
she's like, is that a typo?
I had to tell her to Google Lone Pine Kurt JMT shuttle, and then she found it, and she was able to get a hold of him and schedule a shuttle for us. And we had bumped into they're the same two kids that we talked about earlier that are also doing northbound. They're also at Cottonwood Pass. So the guy's picking us up tomorrow at 10 a.m. to shuttle us to Cottonwood Pass. And like,
that was really nice that she did that for us. So now we have that weight off our shoulders.
Yeah, like,
so we know when we're gonna get out and who's gonna take us, and the fact that we're gonna have our van. So
it'll make things so much easier to like logistically coordinate.
Yeah, I mean,
also,
even if we have to
nice
get shuttled
to know,
again, if things work out how we want it, even if to get shuttled again,
it won't be
we'll
as far.
have our van at the end, whatever that may be, you know.
It'll also be nice to know like our van's not at Cottonwood Pass, like closed in at a gate, or like
because apparently they might close those portals where people's cars are parked.
Yeah. But anyways, that's nice, and it's early in the morning, so we'll get to our van by like the afternoon, and we can kind of like...
Where we're leaving at 3 a.m.
Oh, yeah, so because of this, Michael and I still have like 8 miles left to the trailhead, and I don't want to be late for this shuttle since my friend coordinated it all. So we're waking up at 2:30 and doing an alpine start, and I'm sure we'll get there earlier, but I'm like definitely one of those... cautious people. I like to I like to be early to a party, not late, like, or just on time. That just makes me nervous. So I like give myself plenty of buffer time.
Yeah, well, party is different. We're usually late.
You know what I mean? I know that we still have 3 miles of uphill. So I just estimated like, okay, an hour and a half or 1.5 miles per hour. I just estimated that to get to the top. So that's 2 hours. And then we have like 5.3 or something miles of downhill. And I just ballparked estimated like 2 miles per hour downhill. And so that's like 3 hours. So altogether 5 hours. So if we leave by like 3:30, 4:30, that gets us in at 8:30, but it also gives us an hour and a half of buffer time in case like my estimates are wrong, or like we're a little bit slower on the downhill, or we're like a little bit slower. It's usually me that's a little bit slower. Michael's pretty fast, but you never know. I just like to be better safe than sorry.
Yeah. We also met this nice older couple from Utah. So they're from out of state, and they were about halfway done with their trip, and it was the poor guy's birthday today too.
Oh yeah.
And so they had to exit, and
they didn't really feel like taking the chance or hiking through the smoke, because I think for them it was more about the views.
Yeah, just soaking in the views, and
it is for us too, but I feel like we're in an odd way like in awe of the smoke in a weird way. It's kind of like added a unique spin on the Sierras, even though it's...
Yeah, but also...
We've had some clear
we
days,
have the
too.
time off. Like, we would have finished it anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah, their thing was, like, the views, and I think that they're just set on, like, coming back if they have to.
Yeah.
And I guess we could do the same, too.
Yeah, well, we might have to. We'll just have to see.
We're familiar with the area, and currently we technically still live in California, so it'd be easy to come and just do the different sections that were maybe smoky. But yeah, I mean, like you said, the smoke has had it's like a interesting vibe to the whole situation.
Yeah.
I think also that what finalized their decision is they were afraid of getting their car stuck at one of the portals.
Yeah, and they're flying out of here, so they kind of need their car.
Yeah.
But how do you feel about everything?
Well, I'm obviously really bummed because, like I said, I just, I don't care about things having to improvise and change how we do the trail. I just want to do the whole trail if we absolutely can, if it's within our power.
Yeah.
So I think I've come to terms with the change of plans. I'm just hoping that we can do the plan that we have in mind now.
Yeah.
Which is go up north, do the last bit or what would have been the last bit, and come back and do
the middle bit.
What we missed just now, all within the same trip dates.
Yeah.
So
otherwise it might be a little logistically complicated because we do have a dog sitter right now, and we don't always have a dog sitter.
Yeah, because without a doubt, we're at least if we could get the north part done. Yeah, we'll still have like at least 7 days.
Yeah.
So we could shorten that a little bit, but our goal was never to plow through it. So it's not really something we're interested in. So here's hoping for the best.
Yeah.
What about you?
I think, like, for me and my control freak ways, it's like I wanted everything to work out exactly how I envisioned it. But
everybody does.
I've also, like, over the years, I think the mountains have taught me this, is that you can go with a plan, and, like, you always should go with a plan, but you also have to be, like, willing to be flexible. And that's also part of, like, being safe and, like, self-sufficient, is learning to be fluid and, make decisions on the fly. And I also find that part kind of fun. Like, player X did this. What's your next move? I kind of like thinking through, like, all the different options and puzzling it together. And I've been, like, nerding secretly while Michael's fishing. I've been, like, nerding out on my map, looking at different routes and, like, planning different, alternatives and stuff. So, yeah, I'm, like, equally bummed. And then also, like, my nerdy side is like, this is what we do this for. It's like we train to, like, learn all these, being fluid and all this stuff. So.
Yeah,
I'm just excited to, like, teach my students some of these things, too.
It's nice to have the ability to have the InReach Mini, for example, and try to get ahead of things a little bit, like we did with the shuttle and all that stuff. So that's nice, and getting to use those tools. And we already have a plan in place. Yeah, it's just for me, it's one of those things. It's like I'm all about changing plans, but I at least just want to finish the damn thing. I don't want to leave it half done.
Yeah. Me either.
So.
But, it's like one of those things. I feel like I've said this a million times today. The mountains never promise us anything.
Yeah, they never promise anything. That's a fact.
You kind of always just have to go in that's like the whole thing with adventure. It's like you go in with an excitement and a plan, and then you have to kind of roll with the punches, whether that's you get altitude sickness or something happens and you have to turn around, or the rivers are too crazy and you can't cross them, or I don't know, fire.
It's like Yvonne Chouinard said, adventure doesn't start until things go wrong.
Yeah. So anyways, we're in our tent and we're nearing our bedtime since we're waking up at like 2:30 in the morning. And thanks for listening. We'll, I guess, be in touch with whatever our next move is. So.
Yep.
All right.
I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.
See ya. Hey, I wanted to thank you real quick for tuning into the show and listening all the way to the end. If you love this episode and you want deeper support in becoming a safe, confident, and self-sufficient hiker and backpacker, then head over to shedreamsofalpine.com/waitlist to learn more about our Backpacking Badass coaching program, where I teach you absolutely everything you need to know to be self-reliant on the trails and stop waiting around on others for the adventure invite. So I'd love to help you more in your journey of stepping into your adventurous identity, and that program is the absolute best place for us to start working together. So again, that's shedreamsofalpine.com/waitlist, and you can learn all about it there. So that's it for today, folks. I hope you get to spend some time outside this week, and I'll be back very soon with a brand new episode. Bye.